My twin and I were enemies until we saw our uncle leaving mom's house at 4 a.m. every night. I threw the first punch when we were 6. Liam broke my arm when we were 8. By the time we hit 15, our parents had spent more on hospital bills than college savings. We were identical twins who couldn't stand to breathe the same air. Mom used to joke that we'd come out of the womb fighting, that the doctor had to separate us before we killed each other. She stopped joking about it after Liam put me through a glass coffee table during Christmas dinner. That was the year we turned 17, the year everything changed, though we didn't know it yet. Our rivalry wasn't some cute sibling competition. If I got an A, Liam would forge my homework to get me an F. If he made the basketball team, I'd tell the coach about the Adderall in his locker. We sabotaged dates, destroyed property, spread rumors that ruined friendships. Our younger sister Ivy learned to hide in her room when we were both home. Dad moved out when we were 14, said he couldn't watch his sons destroy each other anymore. Mom stayed because someone had to, but I could see the exhaustion in her eyes every time she had to pull us apart. The night everything started, I was 19 and home from my first semester at State. Liam had gone to the community college across town. We'd managed to avoid each other for 4 months, and coming home for winter break felt like walking into a war zone. Mom picked me up from the bus station alone, which should have been my first clue. Something was wrong. She looked thinner, older, with dark circles under her eyes that makeup couldn't hide. The drive home was quiet except for the radio, and she kept checking her phone at every red light. Liam was waiting in the driveway when we pulled up, leaning against his truck with his arms crossed. He'd grown his hair out and gotten a tattoo on his forearm. We locked eyes through the windshield, and I saw the same cold hatred I'd been carrying around my entire life. Mom sighed and said she needed to run to the grocery store, which was obviously a lie to avoid being there when we inevitably started fighting. She left us standing 20 feet apart in the driveway, the December air so cold our breath came out in clouds. Neither of us threw a punch. We just stood there staring, waiting for the other to make the first move, until Ivy opened the front door and yelled that dinner would be ready in an hour. The moment broke, and Liam walked past me into the house. I grabbed my bag and followed him inside, already planning how I'd make his break miserable. The house felt different, smaller somehow, and there was a staleness in the air like windows hadn't been opened in weeks. Ivy hugged me in the kitchen and whispered that Mom had been acting weird lately. That first night home, I couldn't sleep. My old bedroom felt foreign after months away, and I could hear Liam moving around in his room next door. Around 3 in the morning, I heard a car door close outside. I got up and looked out my window, expecting to see a neighbor coming home late. Instead, I saw Uncle Ray walking up our driveway. He was Mom's younger brother, a guy we'd only seen maybe twice a year at family gatherings. He was dressed in jeans and a jacket, and he was using a key to unlock our front door. I watched him disappear inside, my brain trying to make sense of why he'd be here at 3 in the morning with his own key. I crept downstairs and heard voices in the kitchen, Mom and Uncle Ray talking in low tones. I couldn't make out the words, but Mom's voice sounded stressed. I stood in the hallway debating whether to confront them when I heard Liam's door open upstairs. I rushed back up and ran into him on the landing. We both froze, and for once we weren't looking at each other with hatred. We were looking at each other with the same confused question. Liam mouthed, "What the fuck?" and I shrugged. We stood there listening until we heard Uncle Ray leave through the front door around 4:30. Mom went upstairs to her room, and we heard her door close. The next morning at breakfast, Mom acted completely normal. She made pancakes and asked about our classes like nothing had happened. Liam and I kept glancing at each other across the table. After breakfast, Mom said she had errands to run and left. The moment her car pulled out, Liam turned to me. "You saw Ray too?" I nodded and told him what time I'd seen Uncle Ray arrive and leave. Liam's jaw tightened, and he said Ray had been there the night before I came home too. Same time. That night, we both stayed awake. At 3:15, we heard a car door. I met Liam in the hallway, and we went to his window that had a better view of the driveway. Uncle Ray's truck pulled up, and we watched him use his key again to enter the house. The kitchen light came on, and we heard the murmur of voices. This time, Liam crept downstairs first, and I followed close behind. We positioned ourselves in the hallway where we could hear better. Mom was crying softly. We couldn't make out full sentences, just fragments. "Can't keep doing this," from Mom. "Have to protect," from Uncle Ray. "What if they find out?" from Mom again. Liam looked at me and mouthed, "Affair?" I shrugged because it seemed like the obvious explanation, but something felt wrong about it. Full story on my channel and linked below.